listening to You've Got 5 Options show,
where every week Marta and Anna abandon their 5 children, 2 partners, and 1 cat to make a show especially for you.
An artist, a challenge, a bullshit, a wisdom, and a surprise. Tune in and feel the magic of 5.
Hello everyone, this is Marta.
And this is Anna.
And this is You've Got 5 Options show.
Yay! And we are live. Actually live. First time in, like what, three programs?
No, I think it's more.
Even more?
If we calculate that we were supposed to be live, but we're not live a few
okay,
times.
you are adding those.
When is the last time we were live together? In May?
You might be right. So guys,
Really?
We are hopefully now live. We don't even want to check because Dennis is showing us the thumbs up, which means we are live. And oh, irony, exactly when we are live, I made it here to the studio in the last moment, which, was very stressful. I got lost.
What did you do, Anna? Tell us.
Well, guys, what did I do? I was coming here to the station because we are coming to the station, I think, sometimes half an hour earlier, sometimes an hour earlier. And I was supposed to be here an hour earlier because we had a very strategic, important meeting that we both had to attend. And I took an earlier train and I had to switch trains. And I entered the wrong train, which I have realized after 2 stations, and I got out in, and now everyone in Denmark, apologies for that, Laven. Dennis, help me out, Laven.
Leon.
That's totally not what I said, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
It's a very gorgeous little village or city. I think it's a village. There is a lake, motorboats, nice hill houses. And I'm like, where the F am I? This doesn't even remotely... see, I'm still...
Doesn't remotely look like where you're supposed to be?
Not at all. So guys, I was just in the middle of nowhere trying to get to the station, and I came here 7 minutes to 2 to be here with Marta live on air. And the funny thing is that we are going live today, first time in, I don't know, since May. And exactly today I went into the wrong train. And I'm not sure what happened because the train came at the same time and nothing looked suspicious. Yeah, but Marta, I have a surprise for you. Dennis, I have a surprise for you if you are interested. While trying to get out from that middle of nowhere, I have decided to do something useful because, as you know, I missed that important strategic meeting. So I have installed on our website something that is called a SpeakPipe, meaning now our beloved listeners can go on our website, the5options.com, and record us a voicemail. And we can play it on the radio in other shows. Or even now, if I would have my computer here, which I don't, I had only 7 minutes and Mother Nature was calling and I had to have my coffee. But guys, you can go now to the5options.com and just at the very first spot under our picture, you can see a little button and you can record us a message. We will receive it and we can play it on our radio.
Say what?
Yes, exactly. Say what? We were talking about this for such a long time. I was like, what the hell will I do in this
Leven.
And I decided to do this. So guys, we are now having a SpeakPipe. So please leave us a message if you want to send greetings, if you agree or disagree with something we said on the radio. If you have a life challenge, please send us your voicemail. It is anonymous because you don't have to give an email. You don't have to register, no accounts, nothing. You just press a button, record yourself, and then if you don't like it, you can record it all over again, send it, and we will receive it. What do you say about that,
This
Loven?
is so awesome. Next time when I cannot be in the studio, which has not happened yet, actually,
Yeah,
since
not
we
yet.
have been recording this,
Yes.
I can be sitting and recording a lot of messages so that you have to play me anyway.
I was thinking exactly about that Marta will troll us. Well, we could, of course, now open it and see if someone is actually sending us a message. Maybe I will be doing that. For those of you who are looking at us, well, actually not looking at us, because that would be so weird and stalkerish. For the ones who are watching us on TV, if I will be looking at the mobile, it's because I'm checking if maybe someone have sent us a message via speed. I have to check.
SpeakPipe?
I think it's SpeakPipe or SpeechPipe. I don't know. I was very, very lost in this Loven, so I don't even know what is exactly the name. But I have an account. I made an account for us. We are ready to get your voice on our airwaves, and I think that's actually quite fantastic.
Airwaves?
Airwaves? No, it's not airwaves. Airwaves. We are live on
Airwaves?
air, and there are radio waves. Airwaves. Yeah?
I don't know why, but when I think about airwaves, I think about a chewing gum.
Exactly. And I thought exactly that when I saw your face, because we know each other for more than 20 years, and I know exactly what you are thinking about. Yeah. Yeah, airwaves. I think you call the radio waves airwaves as well when you are live.
Cool. Interesting. Learning something new every time on this show, which is definitely an advantage.
Yes, and if that's not correct, Marta, then we just invented a new word or new phrasing for airwaves.
Well, anywho, very interesting introduction to the show and very relevant since we are going to talk about creativity blockages today.
Oh, nothing can block me. I can even take a different train to a very known direction, yes.
So guys, we were supposed to have an amazing guest today in the studio, Sine Bjerre, who was already here with us before, like a year ago, maybe even a year ago. Exactly?
I think...
No, that was Cynthia a year ago, exactly. So I think Sine, even more than a year. And she was supposed to be with us here today, but even greater emergency than your has happened. So she's unable to be here with us today. However, we are sending a lot of love and light towards you, Sine, right now. And we are hoping to have you here on another day. But we wanted you here so much today so that at least we can hear you, even though you are not here.
Not here with
so
us, yeah.
as an artist of the week today, we'll play Sine. So go ahead, Dennis.
Superman Music brings to you Artist of the Week.
All I am is a man. I want the world in my hand. I hate the beach, but I stand in California with my toes in the sand. 'Cause it's too cold for you here and now, so let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater. Use the sleeves of my sweater, let's have an adventure. Head in the clouds, but my gravity's centered. Touch my neck, and I'll touch yours. You in those little high-waisted shorts. 'Cause it's too cold for you here and now, so let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater. 'Cause it's too cold for you now, so let me hold both your hands in the holes of my sweater. In the holes of my sweater. In the holes of my sweater.
So that was Sweater Weather, sung beautifully by Sine. She actually sang it originally here at the studio. I mean, actually in another address, but...
Yeah, but like mentally the same space.
Yes.
I think. Yeah, and I think that song was at that time requested by Luba, I think, which was hopefully one of our listeners and not a random person. But I love that song as well, so I was super happy that she sang it, and she sang it beautifully. And yeah, what a fantastic memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we hope to have Sine here for another program in some time.
We do, because, guys, I don't know if you know, that's kind of one of those interesting things. Episode with Sine is head-to-head with episode called What is Love, where we actually played Hathaway, What is Love, as the number one most listened episode of all times in You've Got 5 Options. So basically we have the podcast statistics, of course. We don't know how many of you are listening to us live on the radio, but podcast-wise, that is the episode that is always like they are competing. Like every week, one of those episodes is at the top. So Sine had to make quite an impression if people are listening.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now the time has come to smoothly transition into the challenge of the week. A very challenging challenge of the week. And the challenge today actually comes from the conversation I've had with Sine.
Okay.
Because we were discussing about the show. Mm-hmm. And then we spoke about the challenge of the week. And Sine has shared a challenge with me that is also relevant for me.
Okay, because I thought that your challenge of the week will be what to do when your guest cannot come in the last moment and you are leading the show.
And your co-host is trapped in a train going in another direction.
Hello.
Yes. That could be a good challenge. Luckily, I didn't have to completely check how it feels. But let's talk about blocked creativity, because I think that this is a challenge that many people are facing at some point in their life. So here comes the description of the challenge. I feel blocked when it comes to creativity. A person could be compared to a faucet and creativity to water. How easily and naturally can the water flow through the faucet? Right now, it feels like there are just some drops leaking from the faucet every now and again. And I feel the longing to open the faucet fully and let the water flow. But I feel blocked and I don't know how to do that. There are also so many different things I could do. How do I choose the right one? How do I unblock my creativity?
Yowza. And
So-
how proper. There is so much rain outside. Yeah, leaking, drops. Yeah.
So Sina has shared with us that she'd like to fully, entirely open that faucet. And I know exactly what she means. I mean, you could hear her. She sings so beautifully. She's also very much into poetry. Actually, today she was supposed to read an amazing poem to us as an artist of the week. She can also draw and paint. She is artistically very creative. And in general, she's a very creative person. So I can also understand that sometimes it can be overwhelming. And I know certain creative people sitting next to me who also find themselves in a overflow of ideas and options.
If I would compare myself to that faucet, I'm over leaking constantly.
The inspiration, right?
Yeah.
The inspiration,
sure.
yeah. Because that's actually something, the inspiration and creativity we will park for now. And we will look into actually talking about those creativity blocks. Because like in the old times, I have decided to prepare 5 options for that. And it was actually quite good for me because, as I mentioned, I also have been experiencing creativity blocks for myself. So I have prepared 5 different types of blocks to look into in order to unblock yourself. So the first one is mental blocks. So basically what it's all about is listening to what your inner voice telling you about creativity. Are you being kind to yourself? Are you being supportive towards your creativity? Or are you telling yourself, oh, I can't do it. I don't have time for it. I'm too tired. I'm no good. Like listening to what it is that you are actually saying to yourself in your own head. Because sometimes especially the perfectionism can be quite rough. That voice of a perfectionist can be quite rough. There could potentially have been some incidents before where our creativity was not met in a way that we would like it to be met. So we have that message of we are not good enough in what we are doing.
Meaning like doing something and there is no audience for it and you feel like shit?
That could be one thing, but it could be that someone actually told you that you suck. So one thing is that maybe there is no audience, but someone could have actually tell you that you're really poor in what you're doing. What you're doing has no value, like...
Just a curiosity question. Did you ever got a feedback like this from anyone?
I have had people like seriously laughing at what I have written. You may have been
your
a part.
Marta, your poetry is on a completely different level. That's a stand-up comedy. That's not poetry.
Yeah, but it was not supposed to be stand-up comedy. And if you are like sharing your heart and people are laughing at it, that can be pretty rough when you're a teenager. Okay.
Disclaimer, we were 15 at that time. So just to let you know.
Yeah. Yes. However, it's important to find out what it is that your mental level is about your own creativity. What's your inner voice telling you? Because there might be some quite powerful limiting beliefs around it. It could be, for example, I can't live out of my passion. That's not something I can do for a living, so why bother? There can be like a lot of limiting beliefs, like you cannot make it as an artist or some other things that we'll touch upon. Artist needs to suffer. So there could be quite a lot of limiting beliefs to look into.
I think the interesting one that you mentioned is that I cannot make money out of my passion anyway, so why bother? That's a very interesting one.
Yeah, well, it could be very different things for very different people. Yes. And basically the solution here is that you need to work through your limiting beliefs. That's basically something. So if you find that you run a lot of limiting beliefs, that you are unkind to yourself the way you talk to yourself, that could be that thing that is blocking you. And a solution here could be working through your limiting beliefs, working through that mental level. The second possible block is emotional block. And this is about your feelings around creativity. And here very often we talk about fear. Many very creative people, they are not even afraid of failure. They are actually afraid of success because they are internally so aware of their potential that being able to actually display that potential to other people is so freaking scary because it's like showing your soul. And you know about your potential, but it scares the shit out of you. How will the world react to it? So it could be fear of failure for some. It could be actually fear of success. I didn't even know that there could be something like fear of success until a couple of years ago.
But Marta, you were telling me about the fear of success. And I couldn't really grasp it. I didn't know what the hell, why fear of success. But now, just now, I had an epiphany. At the old times, would call it revelation. Actually, you are right. If you are, publishing something, be it a music, piece of art, whatever that is, and you will become an overnight success. And then actually you are just there, like bare naked in front of all the audience, and people can either make mean comments or you can attract all kind of reactions. Now I got it. Thank you.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Yes.
Man, I got it now what the fear of success is.
Yes.
Yes, so, exactly, Dennis, right?
That's some of fears, failure, success, fear of the unknown. That's another thing that scares many people extremely. But there could be a lot of painful emotions around our creativity. So there's a lot of it. So how do you actually solve it? So the solution here is to face and acknowledge your emotions and learn how to let them go. We have had it in some programs already before, so I will not deep dive into it also because the time is running. So I'm gonna go to the next mental block, to the next block, which is actually physical block. So sometimes we actually don't have this physical space for our creativity. We actually don't make space for it. And every time we actually have some inspiration and we could actually do something about it, it feels like, oh, but I don't even have where to do it. I am a painter and I don't have my corner. I don't have my paintings ready. So it's like another excuse, right?
Yeah, for instance, I would tell you, you can do everything everywhere. I did the widget for voice recording in Leuven. So, yeah.
Yeah, but that could be one of the things, depending what kind of creativity you want to do.
Yeah.
You might need some specific tools, you might need some specific arrangement, specific space. So actually preparing that space up front and having it ready right away for you can help you on the spot with those maybe not so extremely strong blocks. The next one is relationship blocks. And when I talk about relationships, I mean all sort of types of relationships. Relationship with yourself, relationship with your parents, relationship with your partner, relationship with people around you. If you don't have the support that you need, if you are in a creativity block, which is a suffering, if you're a very creative person and you have no way to express yourself right now and you don't have a support, it can be really difficult for a creative person. And like lacking support is one thing, but we can actually have people around us still trashing us in some way or trashing our dreams in some way. Meaning, artists, they are no good, they can never make a living out of it. People around us can still be putting us down in relationship to it. So it's very, very important here to surround yourself with supportive people and creative people. First of all, you can get inspired from other creative people. And second of all, it's really important to have that support. Because we can do a lot ourselves, but when we are in suffering, that support is extremely important.
Yeah, when you just mentioned that, I'm sorry that I'm like that kind of, useful idiot all the time, breaking in through your wisdom. But I was just thinking about my coming back to the radio after giving birth to my little baby daughter. And if my partner wouldn't be supportive of me coming here for various reasons. Some fathers are not able to stay with a little baby for many hours because they have this fear that they are going to kill the baby or whatsoever, then I wouldn't be able to come here. That would be a relationship block. Definitely. So, but as you said, I think it's super important to surround yourself with creative people and supportive people, but sometimes it can be a little bit deeper than that if you are stuck in a family or in a relationship with a person that literally blocks you and doesn't support you, doesn't support your creative endeavors because, we have more important things to do than, I don't know, you doing this or that. So that's a very big block, I think.
So first of all, you need to look into your relationships with especially family. That's very often where a lot of issues come. Of course, looking into that and seeing how can you limit their influence on you. And additionally, then surrounding yourself with people who can actually provide you that. And then the last thing that I wanted to mention is around being overwhelmed and lacking clarity. So sometimes we put so many things on our plate. Sometimes we engage ourselves with so many different things that we actually feel so overwhelmed that we don't actually know anymore what it is that I am supposed to be doing with my creativity.
I might or may not know a person like this.
Yes. So basically here the solution is to cut down on activities. So simplify. If you feel overwhelmed, if you feel there is too many things, too many ideas, what you need is simplicity. And there is always something you can cut down on. always. So you can look into different activities which are not the ones. So you look at the activities that give you energy. That's the first one you look at, and that's the ones you want to keep, because they are actually charging your batteries. But there are activities which are draining you out of energy. And you look into, can't I really cut out any of those? Isn't it possible? So basically that was my take on blocked creativity. And while working through it, I have actually helped myself already. And I could start creating, actually. So right now, of course, we don't have much time in the show. In the past, we would be solving a challenge in 2 episodes or 2 half an hour or the full 1 hour.
Yeah.
Right now, we only have this limited time. But if you feel yourself, you actually have some of those mental, emotional, strong blocks, and you need help with it, I can help you. I am a mindset coach. So if you are feeling yourself stuck, completely, utterly stuck, procrastinating, and not being able to get yourself out of that stuck, and you would like to be resourceful and start creating, drop me a message. You can even record it on the5options.com.
Very well, Marta. Very well, already using our new functionalities on website.
Yes, and now that I have said it out loud, now is the time to go into the next part of the show.
Let's do it.
Say what? Boo, 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 boo. It's bullshit of the week.
Yes, bullshit time. And bullshit today also came from Sine. So Sine, even though you are not here with us, we are doing a lot of the things that we were supposed to be doing together with you. And for that part, I will really want to hear your opinion, Anna, but also your opinion, Dennis.
Okay.
So the bullshit that Sine has shared with me is, you have to suffer to be a real artist. So it has to be a struggle, and you have to suffer in many ways. For example, financial suffering, emotional suffering. There is like a lot of this romanticism around many artists. And there is a lot of stuff around alcohol and drugs. So, guys, is this truth or is it bullshit? Let's hear from Dennis first.
I think it can be both. I mean, I don't think you have to suffer to be a great artist. But I think if you have suffered, you have more to write about or create from. So I think it's either end.
Okay, Anna?
Well, I have to say that this is something the fact that you need to suffer in order to create, this is something I believed in for a very long time. And that is because when I was suffering, I was producing my best writing pieces. Because in my case, writing is not only a passion, but it's also an activity or something that I do to go through some stuff. It helps me. It's kind of cathartic. I think many people can see similarities here. So I was convinced that in order to create something valuable, writing-wise, I need to suffer. But I think over the years I realized that was bullshit. Yes, I agree. Suffering enriches you somehow. You know, it gives you a new perspective, new experience, but also gives you a relief. If you are an artistic person, then this is how you will. This will be your outlet.